Hello guys and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero. I'm very excited to keep playing again, so hopefully you've been enjoying it too. It's certainly a very unique game. There's really nothing quite like it, is there? So let's see what else it has to offer. That's what I'm genuinely most curious about. You know, it's the strangest thing. I can't remember why I came up here. Fresh air? Maybe. It's homey in that cabin though, and warm. It's just that thing about, what was it? When you walk through a door, when you go into the kitchen for something, as soon as you pass from one room into another you forget what you wanted. You have to walk back out to remember, like you left a part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that breadcrumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. Conway cranes his neck over the railing. You were driving for hours. Get any sleep? You found beer. What? Like, this is answering the question, sort of, but you found beer? There's a cooler full down there. They say it just floated by, if you believe that. Got caught on some netting and they hauled it aboard. Bounty. Anyway, there's a sign by the cooler. Take what you need and leave the rest. Shannon leans over the railing, looks at the river below. Did you see Ezra go in? Oh yeah, he's poking around with that tape recorder. Exploring. He seems to keep himself entertained. Why be worried? Ezra's totally normal. It's good for him. It's important to know how to be alone. What's up, huh? Look like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. Do you really have to go work at hard times? Didn't seem so bad, did it? It's a way to live. I mean, rent a bed, eat at the cafeteria. Not like I have a choice. I think you do have a choice. I've got to repay my debt. Hell, I should be grateful for the opportunity. If you want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. That's why it's such a damn shame when people go sudden. When people go sudden. Like, that's just a strange saying to me. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like a complete sentence. When people suddenly go somewhere, sure, but... I'm sure I talk too much. Everyone in this river does. The problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We're only telling you half of the stories we hear. Kay told me that I ought to have been a photographer. She said, you have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there. And that's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though I know just about every story on this river. Most of them I've picked up second, third, or fourth hand, and so on. Listening, see? Now I know what you're gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain, and the whole community brings their insight to bear on the brittle facts of experience. There are a few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. I saw the big owl migration pass through. You might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. I saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop. Blew up a batch of white lightning on a raft. Or, anyway, I talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him. I suspect sampled his wares. One night, when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, we picked up a gaggle of passengers headed down to a mail drop by the silo of Late Reflections. I knew a couple of them in passing, a pair of traveling musicians whom I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time, a young woman, a small boy, and an old man whose name I didn't catch. Oh, and a smelly old dog. We docked at a gas station so that Mammoth could refuel. I mean, there is definitely something to be said for stories becoming true once more people believe in it. It's the basis of a lot of things, if you think about it. But it's also really not how things work, is it? So it's an interesting point to have a discussion about at some point. You looked around the map room? No, of course, he goes out to explore. You don't stay on the boat if you dock somewhere. Unless you're asleep, but otherwise you go. At least that's my experience. But I'm not much of a boaty guy, so I take any chance to get off a boat. We cut it close. I usually find this place upriver. Everybody's on the lake tonight. The gas station moves around. Sure, it's not anchored or anything. Could be anywhere up and down the Echo. You just kind of run into it when you need it, or hopefully a little before you need it. I usually stop here once a night, though to be honest, I'm not sure it's even the same one. It doesn't have a name or anything, and I never really pay attention to who's behind the counter. Anyway, it's nice to see you two. Most of my regular passengers must have gotten held up elsewhere in their journey tonight. It's that storm, I think. And she's watching Ezra sprint past. Look at him go. That kid has a lot of energy. It's got to be past his bedtime or something, right? I don't think he has a bedtime. He's a maverick. Sounds familiar. You don't have any of your own? I mean, no, I guess not. I just realized you two came through here so often and chat about all kinds of stuff, but I never really thought to ask about family. We're all the family we need. That's sweet. So, how about that storm upstairs? Did you two get caught in it? I heard it kind of roamed around, uncertain. I'm sure we'll hear all about it tomorrow. Flooding, property damage, probably killed a few tomatoes. It's got the river churning and everyone headed to the lake here, where the water's calmer. I myself don't mind navigating a choppy river, not at all. I've got a good feel for it. Plus, it's better for fungal growth. High water consumes the cave moths, and their wet wings clump together into these little balls of nutrient-dense mushroom food, jammed by current here and there between the rocks. You have never seen a mushroom grow like on a soggy cave moth carcass. There are just really some sentences I never thought in my life I would utter. This game has a lot of them. Amazing. If I could get off, Val and I would be out there all day tomorrow to harvest. I mean it. They'll be ready by tomorrow. A mushroom will grow just as fast as you can pump water into it. Hey, are you two headed out this way tomorrow? Maybe I could send Val ashore with you for a few hours. She's got a remarkable nose for mushrooms. You wouldn't even need to know what you're looking for. Put a bag around her neck and she'll just bring them back to you. Yeah. Well, we don't know where we'll be tomorrow. Ah, I should have figured. Seems you two are always on the move. It does seem that way. So, I should get back aboard. No rush, I just want to brew some tea before we get underway. Headed into the station. Yeah, let's pick up a snack. She doesn't let you pick out your own snacks. It's for the best. I get a little overwhelmed by all those shelves of candy. Too much of a good thing. Hey, while you're in there, could you remind the gas station attendant this fuel's on my tab? Charged to the Mucky Mammoth. Oh, and Will wanted a scratch ticket. Thanks. So, scratch ticket, snacks, tab. I think I'll just watch the lake for a bit, ma'am. Yeah, I guess not much to really go around, so just go in. But they're outside, so if I click here, then we'll just walk back outside too? Or not? What do you think of that other dog we've got on board, Val? Mushroom? Yeah, what do you think of the other dog? Blue's a sleepy old hound dog. I know she isn't doing any mushroom hunting, that's for sure. Weird cave fungus growing on soggy mothwing sounds romantic? No, not to me. I'd like to try my hand at mushroom hunting. I bet I'd be pretty good at it. I found that I'm not, personally. Though, you know, if you get familiar with it, you do get more. You start seeing it, but it does take some time. So, could you fit in the sidecar? If I rode with one knee draped over the side, you could sit next to me? I'd hold you tight, I promise it'd be safe. I guess we can talk her into it. Let's try. I do like how you see others just floating by. Or parking on the other side. Looking for crystals? I need a scratch ticket, before I forget. And before the dialogue logs me out. Junebug examines the lottery display case. With the Sudoku puzzle. Pseudocash. It's a little complicated, but I had a guy in here who won $10 off a one just last week. Anything else? Yeah, did you say... well, snacks first. Sure, we have snacks. We have... how about some jerky? It's homemade, not by me. You work on the mammoth? I can add it to your tab. Oh, you know the tugboat? The Captain Kate said I'd have to remind you. Sure, they're here every night. It's okay, I have one of those faces. Forgettable. Does it bother you? I've learned to cherish it. There's dignity in being forgotten, letting the crowd flow around you unspoiled. I used to live in a city, I mean a real city, Cleveland, Ohio. I had some family money then, and I didn't have to work. Lived in hotels in daylight. I walked wherever the people were. My only duty was to the crowd. I was its observer, its historian, its detective, its poet. Well, the money ran out, and I dispersed with the rest of them. I took my duties with me here, to Lake Lethe and the Echo River. I live behind this counter, anonymous, invisible, but I live with dignity. And yourself? Like, these answers are all just a little weird to me. No, I don't think so. I don't blend in. Not so easy to forget, I'd say. I see now that you're right. Well, that's yours to bear then. Snacks are in the back there. I just didn't want to forget. So Norm is, I guess, gas station attendant. I guess this is the snacks. Yeah, I mean, Junebug surveys a row of chocolates, licorice, cheese crackers, dehydrated, bleached, reconstituted, and colorized. I guess these are just thoughts. That attendant is a trip. Letting the crowd flow around you unspoiled. Anonymous, invisible, but I live with dignity, he said. The bag on the bottom shelf is decorated with cartoonish pictures of vegetables. Through a plastic window, in the packaging, she can see puffed corn-shaped and colored like carrots, tomatoes, and broccoli florets, and a few puffy white discs that might represent potatoes. What a depressing outlook. No, that's fine. I mean, there's so many people, how are you going to stand out? Who even wants to? I don't. I sure hope that not the entire world knows of me at some point. It'd be a nightmare. Who knows, maybe he's onto something. Somewhere in there is surely a preservative, in case the rest of the process hasn't done enough to stop the flow of time. But what has to happen to a person to make them think that way? Does Johnny ever feel like that? Turns the bag over to look for the ingredients, but she only finds a marketing blurb. inspired by real vegetables. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's go talk back to Norm. Norm, to attendant. Shit, that floodwater washed you halfway up out to sea. I was looking for you down by New Königsberg. Same as usual, but ain't nobody there. And the river's deep as an elephant. And he noticed Junebug. Oh, didn't see you there, man. Pardon my language. What? Elephant? Alright, you're no paper flower, I see that. Extending his hand warmly. I expect you must be Loretta. Enchanted to meet you. Sorry I'm late. Hey, is that coming on too flowery or something? Enchanted? Repeating it now, it feels a little silly. I'm not Loretta, but I think you'll do fine with Enchanted. Well, thanks for saying so. But now I'm double embarrassed. How do you know Loretta? Well, we don't know who this Loretta is. Do I look like her? To be truthful, I couldn't tell you. I met Loretta by the computer. We met each other there. I guess we spoke through the computer and agreed to meet. I don't know the terminology. I haven't dated in quite a while. Back when I met Greta, that's my wife, excuse me, my ex, or maybe I am her ex? I don't know how to say it. Anyway, back there wasn't even such a thing as computers at all. I mean, I guess there probably was, but I never heard of one. I worked in textiles. So, here I am. Excellently written dialogue. Fantastic. Like, that's so aloof. And, like, some parts of this writing just remind me of Terry Pratchett. I started reading his books. And, like, it's so aloof and it jumps around a little and it flows so nicely. It just so reminded me of that. So, what's your plan when Loretta shows up? Oh, maybe head down to the Rum Colony? Shoot, I forgot to ask if she likes to drink. I really never know these days. I guess first I'd ask her about that. If she doesn't like rum, I'd maybe try to take her by the Bat Sanctuary. It's pretty romantic in a sense. I mean, like misty valleys and ruined churches romantic, not like flowers and chocolates romantic. Of course, they've got that memorial there. That's a little depressing, actually. Maybe we kind of sail around that. Damn it all, I guess I probably missed her. I wonder if she'll agree to meet me again. I'm sure she'll understand with the weather and all. Nice of you to say so. Well, I guess I'll head on back. Hey, supposing Loretta doesn't want to see me after all? My card is full. I'm out of your league. My card is full. Oh, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. Actually, I wanted to ask you for some advice. I had to type up a sort of autobiography for the computer date, and I spent a lot of time on it, but I only got one reply, and that was Loretta herself. I was happy to meet her, but supposing she's lost interest now. Do you think you could maybe give me some feedback? It's only a paragraph or so. I have it all memorized. I spent so damn long writing it. Okay, here's how it goes. I'm a good-natured man, retired, and spend most of my time sailing the Echo River, riding currents of subterranean gas and that strange invisible wind that moans out of the small tunnels along the bank. Seeking a companion to map the river with me. I have 2 grown children, but they live far away. No goofballs. What do you think? The thing about the wind is a little much. Yeah, you're probably right. I wanted to show my poetic side. I'll save that for the date. Yeah. Maybe be a bit more descriptive about yourself. What do you like doing? You'll be fine. Alright, thanks for your help, man. Really renewed my confidence. I'm ready to get back on that computer. You have a good night now. What's left of it, anyway. So darn cute. Let's go talk to Johnny. Get talked into taking the dog. Sorry, Cricket. Nothing good on offer. Not even those little gummy pomegranate seeds? I didn't look. It's okay, I'll go check. Wish me luck. Good luck. The next person comes over. I guess we're gonna talk about them. So Junebug will talk to Val. Big plans for the night? No, it's more normal to be like, did my Johnny talk your ear off out there? Damn, he's even got me talking to dogs now. I think I can see why he does it. You're a good listener, Val. It's totally nice to talk to dogs. Just pet them. They like being talked to. It's just nice. It's a good experience. Hey man, how's your night? Wyatt, where are you headed? Let's establish that we're together. Just following Junebug. She was in here a minute ago. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling you two might be traveling together. I never travel, but I do love travelers. That's what I like about this job. The travelers come to me. Meet some interesting people. I wouldn't say I meet them, but I do sell them gas. Well, let me know if I can help you find anything. Al. Glory, is good to be among friends. Suit yourself? What are you so excited about? Nah, wow, I should take a page out of your book, man. I'd give you any advice I could, little guy, but I think the most important thing I can say is... Glory, it is good to be among friends. Helps to keep things in perspective, I guess. It's a ritual of remembrance, for me, tonight particularly so. It's my birthday. I'm 5 years old. Do you know why I say that? Well, I'm gonna tell you. 5 years and some days ago. That's me hitting my face. I set out on the Echo River, alone, or so I thought at the time. I was looking for an ice floe. They are occasionally rumored to travel our humble artery on their way from who knows where to who knows where. Who knows why? It's a mystery. An hour into the journey, my lantern gave out. Now, I always carry 3 or 4 spares. You'll never catch me in the dark again. Lesson learned, buddy. But that night, when the lantern went out, I was stuck in the dark. I kept my arm extended, running my fingers along the cave wall, trying to keep my bearing as best I could, and at least make sure I wasn't going in circles. I just prayed I'd find another traveler who knew his way back to the lake or above ground, or even just a crack in the rock to get a glimpse of moonlight. I had a large bag of apples with me. After a long while, maybe a day, I was getting weak, so I took my hand down from the rock to tear my bag open. Well, when I reached back out, I couldn't find the cave wall anymore. Or any other. I was totally unmoored, buddy. Totally adrift. And it was so dark. I started counting time and apples eaten. I drifted in despair for 4 apples. Then I schemed and planned and dreamed for 2 apples. Finally, I came to accept my fate, lost at sea, and this phase I think would have continued indefinitely had I not come down to that very last damn apple. Picture me, feeling around in the empty bag, certain that somehow there was another one of those fist-sized chunks of life-giving fruit, already softened by time and probably an unappetizing brown. Nope, that was it. Just as I was about to bite into my last meal, I felt a tickle on my upper lip. It hatched right then. Couldn't have been a moment later, I would have eaten it. My last apple was infested by a damn fruit fly maggot. Well, that should have been the end of it. I should have eaten that apple and that fly while I was at it and put an end to our little food chain suicide pact, but I waited it out of mercy. After all, this fly was basically a newborn child, right? A gross insect child, but still a child, right? Born into darkness and famine, hunger and alarm. I mean, Can you imagine that? No other flies out there on the boat, and I never would be. No other flies to welcome him into the world. I mean, no fly culture, no fly society, no fly history, a true orphan. I started to get depressed just thinking about it all. Worked out a thick tear, and not ashamed to say. Well, that fly landed on my cheek, right under my left eye. Right on that salty teardrop, and then, blinding glory, his ass lit up like a candle. That wasn't a fly, buddy. That was a damn lightning bug. So that's how come I'm here today with you folks. Only because I found my way out of that strange river cave by the dim-lit rear of some orphan insect hatched out of my last rotten apple. Glory it is to be good among friends. What am I supposed to do for the rest of the day with that? Such a weird story. Okay, well... we still didn't end up buying any candy. I just listened to Al tell a story. That guy's a trip, that gas station attendant. Did you talk to him? It's funny. He actually reminds me of that frog we had for a bit. That frog you had. Aw, I like to think he was part of the family, you know. Okay, so how does the gas station attendant remind you of a frog? Oh, I don't know, because you like to talk, I guess. Maybe we should pick up another one? A frog, or a cat, or an iguana, something. Feeling lonely, Cricket? Not exactly. Not like that guy in the gas station. That guy lets the world wash over him, static like a rock. But you and me both, together, I mean, we're always moving, always changing. I think it's because we feel safe with each other, you know? Free. We can try stuff out, change our clothing, swap parts around, just play. I'm not lonely, just curious. With another person to play with, what else could we be? You may be right, Cricket. You really think so? Wow, I thought I'd have to wear you down a little, like I did with the gerbils. Oh, that's Kate. Time to hit the road. River, I mean. Boy, there's a lot of text. I should have brought more water. See that small brick building? It used to be an upholstery shop. Now it's inhabited by a very skilled taxidermist, whose art is greatly in demand. When it was an upholstery shop, it didn't see nearly as much business. The old shop's name has been lost to time and weather. This was decades ago, and the only trace of it now is the great frame of an old sign behind the new lettering, which now reads Trapper, Stalker, and Sportsman. And then below, smaller, no specimens, too exotic, no arrangement, too fanciful. Some of the upholstery equipment is still there too, and still sees active use. Elise is the resident artist, though she's not the owner of the shop. It's owned by her aunt, Ida. Ida has very little to do with the day-to-day, she's busy with other endeavors. Mostly the restaurant she and her husband run on Lake Lethe. Yeah, Shannon followed the other travelers ashore to a drowsy beachside bar called the Rum Colony. Maybe we see Norm there. For a stop or something, I don't know. I love those super giant, huge letters. I'll talk to them. Yeah, sounds like him. Our friend Serrano is booked here tonight. He's pretty good. He's a wizard of the lap steel guitar. Haha. Are you two coming ashore? Oh, sure, we'll be up in a minute. You couldn't hold me back. Oh, I don't know. Kate says just to wander back whenever. This is a take it easy kind of stop. She doesn't even blow the foghorn to round up the crew here. No point. Something about this spot is like wax in the air when it comes to timetables and responsibilities. I was supposed to meet someone here earlier tonight about some bike parts. I hope she's still around. Oh, I'm sure she is, ma'am. Half asleep into the fragrant mug with all of the other wayward sailors. So, it'll be busy here. Just seeing if we can't go in the water. Someone's standing there. Oh, it's here. It's the box. Finds a small box, about the right size for an injured baby bird or a couple of mice. This box is only full of sand. She rolls a few grains on her fingertips. It feels different from the sand under her toes. Finer and slicker. She has the feeling this is sand from a different people. Okay, yeah, you have those people. They take sand from every beach that they visit. Bureau folk. How far back can we go? Pretty far, seemingly. No. Turn around. A little bit more. Okay. Now, turn around. Thank you. A cup. A styrofoam cup is half buried in the sand, miraculously intact. It still has some coffee in it. Maybe it came from the bar, or maybe someone dropped it here on their way to the bar. Maybe they weren't even headed to the bar originally, but drank their coffee too fast and needed a stiff counterbalance. Shannon thinks about the war of liquids in the stomach. Coffee to start the day, liquor to end it, apple cider vinegar to patch up the battlefield. Her mouth feels dry. She thinks about all the nervous casualties of the liquid war. Clumsy alchemists transmuting day into night. She thinks about a chalky grey-pink liquid her mother kept for upset stomachs. That was stored in the coffee cup too. Okay. Just roll with it. I don't even know what to make of this and the dialogue at times. Just consider it an interesting perspective and just go with it. Sonny, Patch. It is lap guitar. Hey, did you hear the ice caps are melting? I mean the polar ice caps, the ones all the way at the top. Don't listen to him, hon. He's all doom and gloom tonight. Don't listen, that's the answer, Don. Well, what else can you do? Someday, all of this will be underwater. We'll all be drowned. What can you do? You can recycle? Half measures avail us nothing. Don't be a pessimist, Sonny. Have another Mai Tai. He's just in a dark mood because the bar is crowded tonight. He likes to spread out. You know toxic runoff has decimated the deer population, right? Oh no. That's what they say in a recent study anyway. And I believe them. Acid rain, you know. Useless any day now. Sure, I heard it in a recent study, so I take it as gospel. Worthless gospel, but gospel nonetheless. Yeah, I'm trying not to think about it. Everyone should be. Sonny, you're insufferable. Oh, we can talk to Don. Toxic runoff, that's his latest rant, but I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Before this, it was bovine growth hormones and global warming. Nah, he's harmless. I just don't know him anymore, that's all. He takes bits and pieces of things he reads, kids run off, and synthesizes them all into some grand theory, and it's always the end of the world. But who knows that stuff, right? We can't even predict the weather. I mean, if you could take all of these little pieces and predict how they're all going to interact, well, you'd know everything. I'll tell you what I'd do with that kind of knowledge. When I first met a man, I'd look at his shoes and the kind of book he reads and what he eats for breakfast. I'd make damn sure we weren't doomed to spend our twilight years greedily emptying Mai Tais and arguing about toxic runoff. Well, you know what they say about hindsight. Here's to a better yesterday. So can't talk to these fine folk. Just exploring the beach first. Oh, big place. On this side we can go real far. So it just kind of just ends. Well, that's fine, I guess. Hello, Conway. There she is. You have to try one of those flower drinks. I feel like I could drink 100 of them. Not too sweet, not too strong, you know? A real session drink. What's it called? I think he said it was, well, how do you like that? I'll just show him the flower. Another one of these, I'll say. Then I'll point to the flower. Maybe I'll wear it in my hair. It doesn't taste like a flower. I mean, not like a flower smells, you know, perfume, sickly sweet, like a star thistle flower. One of my first long haul gigs ended in a crash. Did I tell you about it? It wasn't so bad, actually. I swerved to dodge some stray cattle, hit a stump on the side of the road, and flipped the trailer. The whole rig went twisting down into a muddy ditch. It was spring, and I blacked out. I don't think I hit anything, but it was just the shock of it, or maybe my brain bounced against the inside of my skull or something. It likely did. Anyway, I woke up and I'd been thrown clear. Never worn a seatbelt since. Oh, why'd I bring that up? Star thistle. I woke up in a field of star thistle. The first thing I thought was, what are all these damn ugly flowers? More old stuff. I'm drowning in old stuff tonight. Feels like I've got it piled up all around me, like one of those old guys you hear about who never threw anything away. You know what I mean? Hey, maybe you should slow down. Oh no, I don't think so. In fact, I could use a few more of these, indicating his drink. Just take a book of matches to the room. That should clear everything right up. Know what I mean? Sorry, I'm not making sense, am I? No, that... Taking a book of matches? No, I don't. I just mean to say I can't look at anything without remembering something else. And that reminds me of something else. And I'm buried in it. I just need to get my head clear for a minute. Get a clear view of the day. Get oriented. There was a time when I felt this way. I'd bite the bullet, try to sober up, and get a job. Is that why you're going to work for the distillery? Maybe it is. Seems like a pretty simple answer, right? Just follow the work as long as you can. But I mean, it's not necessarily solving that problem. Hey, I'm gonna go sit and look at the water for a minute. I'll talk to you later. Don't be a stranger. Okay. An untouched drink sits on the table, forgotten or abandoned, or simply wasted. Jen pulls a feather from the sand and brushes it clean. When she was a child, she collected feathers. Not the way a hobbyist collects trinkets, but the way a clump of dust collects more dust by static electricity. She deposited them on the kitchen table at the end of the day. Weaver's mother said it was unhygienic. Shannon's mother said that was American germaphobe bullshit, and put them in a vase. No, can't. You stopped running, you got tired. Okay. Are we actually leaving prints? We are actually leaving prints in the sand. That's actually pretty cool. Hello, happy to be in the here and now. I heard a shuffling. Are you dragging your feet or just enjoying the sand between your toes? Yeah, it's nice to slow down for a minute. We have time. Lots of glass here. Patch's boys load the empties on the barge. I told them, try to keep it separated in its own little pile. That way, when we get to disposing of it, any environmentally minded folks present can easily set them aside for recycling. I love the river, but I don't care for the current. It's too relentless. Lake Lethe, though, is calm, cold, and deep. At any opportunity, I'm ashore meditating. One day, I may be left behind. I wanted to ask you something. I thought of it earlier, but it didn't seem like the right time. I'm sure you know what I'm getting at. Well, probably want to advise about the mammoth, right? Oh, I'll figure that out eventually. I do appreciate your insight. I suspect you have a kind of intuition for electronics. You understand them like you understand, not a person, but a cat or a dog maybe. It's your calling, not from society or authority, but an inner calling. I should have said it's in your nature. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I'd say so. Is that what you wanted to ask? No, it was... Well, I forgot it now. Typical. Yeah, I thought if you don't pick right, then you only get the one pick. So I guess let's talk to Patch, and then talk to, Cyrone, was it? Junebug! Guess who I just saw like an hour ago? The lady with the engine for sale. You just missed her. I tried to hold her back, but she's all business. Well, how are you, Patch? Oh man, you know, Carl had that gig for a minute at AAA Burgers, but they went out of business. If our numbers were better here, he could just work on his record and be fine, but, well, you know how it is. Sorry, but if you can hear the neighbor dog barking. Neighbors are leaving it in the front yard. And, well, it's not much I can do. For now, he's selling flowers on the river. Say hi if you pass him. Hey, any of your friends want a drink? I got time. Busy night, but everyone's deep in their straws by now. What have you been mixing up? Let's see, what's good tonight? My dark heaven? What else you got? Dark deadly tiki? What's that like? Chill a tall glass with a little blue curacao at the bottom and just keep pouring in white rum till it starts to turn clear. And grapefruit juice, lime juice, and green curacao. Some folk like sea salt. I was included a little umbrella. What else you got? Black Devil? What's that like? 1 shot black rum, 2 shots of 151 proof rum. Blue curacao, stir. And throw a couple of olives on top, okay? What else? Brownish death? What's up with these names? What's that like? 1 part sea salt, a few parts gold rum. I throw a couple of olives on there to soften the blow. What else? My clear heaven? I assume one of these will be for Conway. Pineapple juice, blue curacao, and 4 slugs of white rum. Look out, they'll put hair on your toes. What else? Aged rum noir? What's that like? Just enough dark rum to make your arms sting. Then add grey curacao and yellow food coloring to taste. Let's stir for a while, that's it. The fragrant and salty? What's that like? Take a medium-sized glass bowl and fill it equal parts blue curacao and dark rum. Cover it with a towel and let it stew until it gets a sort of potent quality going. Add gold rum. Oh Jesus. Add gold rum and blend. Put a plastic skull on top if you want to show off. What else you got? Black salty tiki? It's one of the first ones, no? Start with a short, broad glass, lightly rimmed with a black grapefruit juice. Put an orange peel at the bottom of the glass, flip it over and leave it for 4 minutes. Then slowly add young rum, aged rum, dark rum, and gold rum. Shake. The potent cocktail on the zombie. Jesus, how many are there? What's that like? Start with a short, broad glass, lightly rimmed with a blue curacao. Put a maraschino cherry on the bottom of the glass, flip it over and leave it for several minutes. Then slowly add 151 proof rum, blue rum, light rum, and gold rum. Pour over ice. Clear devil? They're just combinations of the same couple of things, but... So clear is with primarily blue curacao. Chilled tall glass with a little blue curacao at the bottom, then just keep pouring in white rum till it starts to turn iridescent. Okay, that's enough now. I mean, probably there's something at the very end of the forever chain, but that's okay. I'm so glad to see you. These cooks are bumming me out, man. You see the guy in the sand over there? He's rolled up, kind of off-center, you know, kind of leaning on the stage here, and I was like, what kind of strings are those? Steel or nylon? I'm sure you're cool about it. Oh yeah, it's mandatory around here, man. It's what the people want. Just a humble artist, you know. Plus, it's better for tips. You can't look like you care about it, you know. Even if it's your livelihood. The crowd can smell economic precarity and it turns them off. I guess it's no fun to give someone money if they really need it. Too much responsibility. Hey, speaking of which, I'm about mid-set here. Can you take the can around while I play this next one? It's on the tape. I think you'll like it, man. Thanks. She didn't have to do that. Had to hurt, but that's the way it goes. The unsteady steadying the unsteady. There's probably a $5 bill somewhere just floating up and down the river, from tip jar to musician to tip jar to musician, like an eternal ferry of good intentions. These two are pretty reliable. Where does their money come from anyway? Government check maybe? Nah, they only tip like that on the 1st and 15th. Maybe they'd fence stereos or something. I should go to these feds or government types which are sitting out here. T15. These cooks are really going for it. It's good. You can't always hope for much with these fly-by-night crowds. Could have been some deep, ticky fanatics getting uptight about Serrano's tape machine or something. These folks are tourists wherever they go. In his own little orbit, he ought to stop and think about who's creating all the atmosphere. They think it's natural or something, like it's just what the place sounds like. A cheap illusion. He's way gone, reflecting, or pretending he doesn't see the tip jar. This dude is just passed out. Oh well, still gives too, so... This guy's barely here. He's like basically sugary wet sand until the morning. He left a couple of bucks by his shoes here or dropped it. That's probably for the band, and if it's for anything at all. Collect some from Will? Nope, Will says no. Will never has any money. Good for him. It's an interesting choice to say good for him, but okay. Conway? Nah, this guy's keeping some odd company tonight. Better just let him be. Okay. And then that's all we can do. Return the can. I think those are all of them. Yeah, literally everyone. Maybe go back to a phone call? Okay. Maybe we need to be around. Yeah, listen. We got a problem down here. Who is this? Man, it's all messed up. I tried realigning that big sewer grate on the livestock pen like you said, right? Who is this? Damn thing's flooded, man. It's even worse than before. All I'm saying is we've got to get these computers out of here. Who is this? I mean, we're running out of time here, man. Hey, I forget, does this big green valve dump water or sewage? You told me earlier, but I've been so stressed it just kind of flew out of my mind. So should I turn that valve? Yes. Alright, you're the boss. Well, that got me an achievement, patch speaking. So... now what? Am I supposed to go back to Cyrano? Can't talk to Ezra. Okay, I'm not sure what... Go back to the dock, okay. Might as well. Wonder if now Johnny has just made it. Well, that was a pleasant detour. Yes, ma'am. Ready to get moving? How about you round up the old man if you can tear him free? Okay, let's go get the old man. Like the reflection in the water. Sorry, what was here? A damp matchbook rests on top of the sand. Shannon flips it open without looking, runs her thumb across the cardboard and finds one match still intact. She stares ahead, transfixed by the texture on her fingertips, and she wonders if it will flake apart and leave her hand smelling and feeling like fire for the rest of the night, or if the cold lake water has already washed away that part of the match, the part that smells and feels like fire. There's a lot of thought when you just see a matchbox on the beach, but okay. Ah, so he does have odd company. Yeah, you're right about that. I never quite thought of it that way. Who are you talking to? Noticing Shannon for the first time? Oh. No, it's nothing. Hey, let's get out of here. Work to be done, right? Yeah, definitely should have gotten more water before doing this. Such an intriguing storytelling experience. Also, Conway's story about suddenly there being some sort of livestock on the road just reminds me of driving on Crete, the Greek island. At some point we're going over the mountains and there's just wild goats everywhere. And they're just on the road. I'm like, what do? Like, you approach and they don't care. So we just end up, or at least I ended up standing there for a while. Because it didn't feel like they were actually going to move. It was a real funny situation. But never quite encountered something quite like that. Alright. It's easy to miss, but beneath that quarter-acre swarm of moths, that Gortina pithiocampa, a prominent heart and club moth, their diet is mostly constrained to lichen. But they make an exception for sunflowers. It's a quarter-acre sunflower orchard, and beneath that sunflower orchard there are two small lots with small houses, positioned so they just about butt right up against each other. The houses are empty now of human life. There's no sign of a person or anything living except for moths and overgrowth. There's some pipes bolted into the cave wall near the perimeter, and a few stone scars where other pipes have been ripped away by scavengers. These once supported the large grow lamps that fed the sunflowers. The lamps are gone now. Once this crop of sunflowers is picked away, it's unlikely anything else will grow here but lichen, moss, and rock formations. The prominent heart and club moths will move on. The houses will be visible again, and at least until somebody strips them for building materials, or the river washes them away. The houses were once inhabited by two sisters. Why they built their houses so close together, or lived in any proximity at all, is a mystery, since they were clearly despised one another. It's possible the neighboring houses were an attempt at reconciliation. It didn't work. If anything, Close quarters just turned up the pressure until those decades of loosely held resentments and animosities were pretty near to boiling over. All that energy had to go somewhere, and both sisters had the same idea. They took up gardening. They both cultivated sunflowers, an improbable crop for this location, too improbable to be coincidence. Maybe the sunflower had some special meaning for them, or maybe when one sister saw her rival sowing the impossible seeds, she knew at once she couldn't bear to be outdone. Which sister had the greener thumb, we'll never know. The stalks tangled, the roots knotted, and the seeds mixed. Those gangly sunflowers merged the two lots into one undifferentiated field. The two sisters moved out, probably around the time the moths started showing up. Of course, there was no selling the lots then, overgrown and bug-chewed as they were. In fact, if those sisters ever tried to sell, they'd be in for a rude shock. Not long ago, a property tax clerk, having seen the two adjointed lots registered to the same last name, presumed they belonged to the same owner and erased the legal border between them. What's with the door? Clara, Kate and I stopped to do some business by telephone. The dogs just lounged below deck. It's just dogs. I wonder what's gonna happen. Nothing to click. Just a little tiny cutscene. While those two gentle beasts kept things under control aboard the mucky mammoth, I went ashore with the rest of the crew to make use of a public telephone. I called into my answering machine, which I routinely neglect for intervals of months, to chip away at the pile. Kate checked in on a client of hers. She's a birth doula, in addition to being a tugboat captain. Do you know that? Clara talked to her sister in Lithuania. Illness in the family, I gather. Anyway, the evening hit the low point not much later on, so let's take a quiet moment here to listen to the river and reflect on the unburdened sleep of dogs. Well, it seems my dog's sleep just got burdened by being woken up. Shannon, Ezra, the old man and I stopped at the Advansky Center to make some quick cash. Because that sounds more interesting. Security camera footage. Good morning. Bags isn't feeling well. Long night. Poor kitty. What are you watching? Security tape from last night. Daryl left the lights on again. Should we slash his tires? I'll leave a stern note on his desk. Spare the rod. What are we doing today? Right, this is weird. You know that old vending machine? The one that only has tomato juice? No, the old one they just stopped refilling. Remember we rolled it out onto the dock last August and some scavenger ripped it for metal in the middle of the night? Daryl cut his hand cleaning up after them. And it got infected, remember? No. Okay. Anyway, the rest of it ended up in the coat room until finally Daryl was piling it into a big bag for the trash barge to pick up. and he came across this box lost behind all the junk. Check it out. This looks old. Yeah, there's a bunch of videotapes and completed questionnaires. I looked up the reference number and it's never been processed. So I guess that's what we're doing today. There's no date on it. We'll just have to make one up, unless there's some footage on of a calendar or something in here. Flipping through questionnaire. I guess these are the old tests before we started doing the video exit interviews. That's annoying. Yeah, let's see. How did we do this? I'll run the tape, you interpret the questionnaire, and I'll type it up. A modernist bookshelf with a fancy vintage turntable. So ostentatious. So Daryl. What? That was my bookshelf. Oh no. But you like grew out of it or something, right? It ended up in a lab somehow. I gave my books in a pile now. It's easier to find what I'm looking for. Never. What shelf is that book on? Only. Well, it's somewhere in the pile. Pragmatic. Or can we just go to a different room? Doesn't seem like it, does it? Like there's a ball laying there. Like the entire... You can just see the set. Which is kind of funny. It's meant to be shown like this, I guess. Also the fact that they show a timer in the last bit of dialogue, I just wonder what happens at like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Wow, I haven't seen that poster in a while. I think that was mine from college. Yeah, definitely. All right, Daryl swapped it out in a redesign. Now it's what's there now? Yeah, it's that's weird. I can't picture it. I mean, I can picture the wall, and there's definitely something hung there. Yeah, that's gonna bug me. Want me to go look? It's just down the hall. No, it's okay. I guess let's go to the desk. This should be some basic information in the first control test. Subject's general disposition. Jen looks over the questionnaire and document from the envelope. Why are you here? The other passenger said we could make some quick cash taking these tests. Pragmatic. Demographic category? What's the first thing you remember? Spilled orange juice. Immigrant. Do you think we should use the old categories or the new categories? All right. Will the computer even still take the old ones? They're still in the menu. Okay, in that case, put in precarious. Sure. Oh, I forgot. Name? It says Marquez on the file. Whoa, Marquez? Are you sure? That's what it says. Do you know her? That can't be. No, that's not her. Did she come alone or with a group? I don't know. There's an extended monitoring tape here too. We could check on the dock when she showed up. It's an interesting sequencing that they're doing here. No, definitely not. Oh, she's traveling with one of those creepy distillery guys. Ben? Nah, he just looks some old drifter. Maybe you're right, it's hard to tell in this light. Oh, it's... Wait, who's that? That guy in the hoodie? What? I've never seen him before. Really? He looks so damn familiar. I thought maybe he was a former intern or something. He's a little old for that, right? No, I don't recognize him, sorry. You're all deja vu this morning, it's spooky. Sorry, just one of those days, I guess. And Conway just stays behind. Haha, I guess the old man is on dingy guard duty. A noble assignment. So, who is this lady? Oh, right. Well, do you remember WEVP TV? No. Okay, it was a community television station. The Consolidated Power Company had to fund it as, like, a punishment for owning too much of the broadcast spectrum or something. Oh, they used to screen your videos, right? Yeah, it was like a co-op. I did some maintenance and they gave me a slot to show my work. And they had that naked banjo guy late at night. Yeah, that's mainly what everyone remembers. I guess their whole mandate was community expression. He was certainly expressive. Oh wait, was WEVP the one that... the flood, right? Yeah. Damn. So, Shannon Marquez. Did she have a naked banjo show too? What? No? Let me guess. Which of the following sentences best describe you? I agree for fading memories. She did the weather? No, I've never heard of Shannon Marquez. It was Weaver Marquez I knew. She worked at the station for a bit. And then she left on kind of weird terms, actually. Anyway, where were we? This is a very dynamic segment in the game, I must say. It's quite nice. Okay, so how do we rank her from the control test? Without turning around, please describe the following objects. Bookshelf. I don't know, 4 shelves? Shaped like a snake. It is nondescript. It reminds me... I don't know, it's a bookshelf. Library. Poster. I remember scribbles and circles. Circles. I have a poster in my workshop, a vintage advertisement for vacuum tubes. Chart of resistor values? No, I don't keep posters on my walls. A vintage advertisement for vacuum tubes. Lightning. I mean, there is one lamp. You can even see it. Average, I guess? Average, okay. There's a lot more. Okay. I fell for it. More of this. Ugh. How many pictures did she remember? 2, or actually maybe 3? What? She wrote down orange, strawberry, guava. Guava? I think she meant the pear. See, that's why I hate this test. There's so much fruit that basically looks just like the other fruit. Oh, guava. Does a guava even look like a pear though? I don't think I've ever seen a guava. I thought they were pink. They're just pink on the inside. You wouldn't confuse a real guava for a real pear, but in one of Daryl's crude watercolors. But I can still clearly tell that's a pear, even on video. Yeah, you and I can, but we already know it's a pear. She could be remembering wrong, just identifying what, to her, is much more likely fruit to appear in a painting, based on any other number of cultural, social, geographic, you know. She didn't say anything in her response to help clarify. Let's see. Please describe in detail any sensation that accompany your memory of the pictures. I remember the way the fruit tastes. My mother gave me some mushed up guava once to cure a toothache. Not really, just some sensory memories of guava. I guess we should just skip the pictures. That's a shame. It's really hard to measure memory degradation in some of the later tests without this one as a baseline location updating scenario. I've been saying we should just use photographs. Watercolor paintings already have the quality of a half-remembered dream anyway. Like they're inviting you to forget them, or someone else already forgot them for you. Like a mama bird feeding her chicks cotton candy. Photographs are... It's not that they're really more accurate or true, but we think they are. They put you in that mindset. They have authority. So yeah, out with the watercolors, I say. But then poor Daryl would have nowhere to exhibit his work. Jen, look who it is. Aw, I missed that kitty. I forget what became of the white one. Her name was Coconut, and she disappeared without a trace. Easy come, easy go? I wouldn't say easy. I had to leave food on the dog for a week because she'd come inside. Before she'd come inside. She only stuck around for a month or two. You probably saw quite a lot of her. I remember you were working nights then. She was a nocturnal creature. That's right, I remember. Oh, of course we have to go pet the cat. You can't pet the cat? No, it just looks at us. Okay. Well, at least we tried. Oh, so we get to feed the cat? I'm not sure what it is that we picked up. Cat is eating. Wait, I don't remember this test. Oh. Did we cut this one? What's the questionnaire like? No, this is just sometimes if I can't make it in for a few days, I might leave a note to feed the cats. For the test subjects? Wow. How do you know they'll do it? I write it on university letterhead. Jen, that is unethical. At least I don't use university property and research equipment to make weird video art. Very well then, I contradict myself. I wonder which is the nobler transgression. I'll settle that question. It's nobler to feed kitties. Oh, here's another extended monitoring tape from the waiting room. Busy night. There he is again, sleeping. Where do I know him from? He's going to drive me up the wall. Does he work at the university? Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think he might have worked there a long time ago. Maybe I was an undergrad? Ah, the Paleolithic. I thought he looked a bit rugged. That's right, Jen. I went to the college during the Stone Age. What was your major? Fire. I don't think he was a professor. Maybe staff? It's been so long. Sometimes I wish I'd just barreled through like you did instead of taking time off before grad school. I'm sure it was the right thing to do at the time. Yeah, or the only thing. I was such a mess. Did I ever tell you about that? My boyfriend died suddenly in my last year of college. Oh, poor thing. It's okay, it was a long time ago. But yeah, it really shook me up back then. He was studying astronomy. We were both really into experimental music. We took a few art classes together. That's so sad. How did... Sorry, never mind. No, it's okay. That's the thing, actually. I mean, that's what shook me up about it. It was just this random accident that never should have happened, and so sudden you never could have seen it coming. He was back home visiting his parents, and he fell off a roof. Damn. I know what you mean. You can't predict that kind of... What do you call it? Freak accident kind of thing? My psychiatrist says that's why I'm such a pessimist. Well, I think you're remarkably upbeat, all things considered. I mean, you know that thing with your boyfriend on the roof, but also what happened to the TV station. Acts of God. You think? No, I mean, that's what you call it. That's what you say when it's nobody's fault. Back to Shannon. I don't think I believe in that. What? Acts of God. Yeah, but there has to be a word for when something completely shitty happens for no reason, right? I guess it's kind of archaic. Jen flips through the questionnaire. First, please use the blank space below to describe your general feelings about television. If you have difficulty summarizing your emotions succinctly, or have too many different feelings to fit in the blank space, you may also use the back of this paper. I have mixed feelings about television. How many videos did we watch? All of them? Speaking of the TV station, you were saying something earlier about that other Marquez girl. Oh right, I was talking about Weaver. Yeah, what exactly happened with her? You said she left on weird terms? Yeah, well, so actually she just stopped showing up. That was pretty normal. It was all volunteers, right? Community television? Yeah, people didn't really give much advance notice. They just got bored and drifted away. It's more like an art project than a job for most people. Weaver Marquez helped manage the archives, like filing and sorting old tapes and broadcasts. I think she was pretty smart. She probably could have been more help fixing equipment or something, but she seemed content just to organize tapes. Nobody ever talked to her much, so when she left, no big deal. But then, a couple of months later, we started getting these bizarre interventions. So, I think I'm actually just going to call this here, because I also answered that we're going to watch all of these, and who knows how long those are. So I think that makes for a good moment to break. And boy, this I really am enjoying the faster pace somehow of this this section and this chapter, or the act I should say. It's not a chapter. But yeah, like the dialogue is very fluid, relatively fast, easygoing. Sometimes not, but overall it feels like the pace went up a lot, and that actually does it a lot of good to me. So yeah, there's just quite nothing really like this, and I am loving it. I will make myself some more drinks because my throat is starting to hurt, and I'll just be going straight back to recording. That's what I'll be doing. But next video will be a week after, of course, scheduled. If you're watching live, that is. So for now, let me know what you guys think. Do you also feel like the tempo went up, and is it better or worse? Like what act has been your favorite so far? Because for me, I think it's Act 1, because it just sets up such a strange scenario and the way all the dialogue choosing works. And this one right now I think is actually really good because it's simple, straightforward. Yeah, I think so. I might come back to that. I might change my mind afterwards, but for now that's what I think, because I'm just really into it. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you guys next time. See you, dudes.